So I've just run karate gradings at my dojo, and I just sat on a panel for another dojo recently. And I thought I'd go over a few tips to help you to improve your kind of chances or improve your success rate when it comes to karate gradings. It's all, of course, in the preparation. If you don't prepare, then you are preparing to fail. Make sure that you are training consistently, first of all, before any of the rest of this stuff in this video matters. You must make sure that you are attending classes on a regular basis. So the first point really is to make sure you understand what is required of you in the grading. Okay, so most dojos will have some kind of syllabus that they will follow, and you will obviously work on that content throughout your sessions in that grading cycle, between gradings or whatever. So make sure that you understand what is required for you within that grading. In my dojo, when we grade, I also test on anything previous as well. Okay, because what I don't like is that people kind of learn the kata for their grading and then think or consider that's gone now. I've passed that belt, that kata could be forgotten. Any time we can bring katas forwards from the previous gradings, and also any kind of kion or fundamental techniques can be tested from prior to that grade. So make sure you fully understand the syllabus that you're going through, and of course, make sure you keep brushed up on the previous content as well. So I mentioned at the start of the video, make sure you are training consistently. You cannot possibly go to a grading and cram or prepare for a grading by cramming it in at the last minute. Technique is developed over time. It doesn't happen in short spaces of time. Okay, so what I see and what most instructors will see probably in their dojos is that a grading's coming up, attendance starts picking up because people want to get that next belt. But of course, it is a reflection of your training from one grading to the next. You grade how you train. You don't step up to the grading. You should be training as if every session is the grading, really. What I often say to my students is that the grading happens in the dojo before the actual grading examination day, because I can see how my students are training through week to week, and as a result of that, I know who's ready and who's not ready. And obviously for those that are not ready, I won't put forwards to grade, but it can sort of allow you some space on the day, when nerves kick in a little bit and you make maybe some slight errors in your technique or whatever. If you've been training consistently and with a good attitude through the grading cycle, that's going to go in your favor. In addition to getting to the dojo and practicing, you want to practice your stuff at home, because the dojo sessions are not, unless you're doing one-to-one sessions, are not catered to you specifically. They will be catered towards a class. So the content will be kind of generic. The training you need to do at home is going to be important. So you need to think about the things that you are doing or that you need to improve yourself in order to sort of pass that grading. Everyone will have different problems or different areas that they struggle with. So if your area of struggling or if your area of difficulty is maybe roundhouse kicks or something, you can take that away and work on it at home, because there's probably not enough time in the dojo to focus on your individual problems. It's a generic session. Obviously, the one-to-ones are going to help. If you can get one-to-one sessions with your instructor, that's going to sort of massively help you out, because you're going to get that time to focus purely on you and get that feedback at the same time. Finally, don't treat the grading as the kind of end point. Don't train just to grade. You should enjoy your training and enjoy karate. If you're training just to grade, then you're not going to get the most out of it. Really, the grading is a byproduct of your training. If you are training consistently and you're enjoying your training and progressing over time, the belts will just come with that. Don't make the belts a kind of the only motivation to train. The motivation should be kind of intrinsic. It should come from inside rather than external things, because what happens is people get to their black belt level and then there's no other color belts to get. Of course we have downgrades and stuff, but really you should be training because you enjoy the training. Once you get to black belt, there is no more belts as such, so you have to enjoy the training. And this is the danger. This is when people end up leaving, because they've got these little goals, these short-term goals, and they're training purely to get new belts. And then once they get to that new belt, they move on to the next one. But once they get a black belt, they end up dropping out. So make sure you're training for yourself and for your own enjoyment. I don't care if I go into a class and wear a white belt. It doesn't matter to me what belt cut I'm wearing, or where I stand in the line in the dojo. These are things that don't matter to me. Enjoy the training, and the belts will come as a result of that. Don't forget my partnership with Art Martial Clothing. If you want to get some martial arts inspired clothing designs, hoodies, t-shirts, tracksuit bottoms, shorts, backpacks, baseball caps, all this kind of stuff, I'm going to put a link to their website in the description of this video, along with a discount code so you can get some bits. Really nice stuff to train in when you're at home or when you're coming to the dojo. So have a look at that stuff. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment if you've got any other tips for other people, help each other out. The idea is to kind of get a community really going, so the people in the comments are helping each other as well. Not just me doing the speaking, but people getting involved and adding their own tips and advices as well, to try and make it a bit of a nice place to be. So yeah, leave a comment, like the video, share this with your friends, and I'll see you next time.